Hello, I am your teacher, Mr. Pacitti, and this is my classroom here in Worcester, Massachusetts. So put away your mobile phones, put away your Eric Bischoffs. Apparently wasn't there last night. Lazy. It's time to concentrate, it's time to study. This is SmackDown Live, and this is Graded. We're kicking things off with Shane McMahon. Of course we are. He was absent on Raw, but we weren't so lucky last night. He's backstage, Kevin Owens comes in, and Shane says, "Hey Kevin, you're not allowed in the arena tonight. You've got the night off." I wonder how this one is going to end. And now we go to ringside, and it's time for more Shane McMahon. He's here to host a town hall meeting. What's a town hall meeting, I hear you ask? It's a promo, but with some wrestlers on the ramp. It feels like Shane has some serious heat here. He's getting booed really heavily, but I think you have to ask, is that real heat or is that go away, we're really fed up of seeing you, Shane McMahon heat? And then he says, hey, Kevin Owens, he's not going to be here tonight, reiterating that to the live crowd. And then there's a mic at the top of the stage and he asks, who wants to step up to the mic first? It's a town hall meeting. This is great. So Roman Reigns is the first man to step up to that microphone. There's a brilliant moment where Bayley and a few other wrestlers behind him are clearly just trying to make him corpse. They're all going, hoo, 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 big dog, big dog. But Roman holds his composure. He's a professional. Roman says, Shane McMahon, nobody respects you. And as far as diplomacy goes, you can kiss my ass. Oh, no, he didn't. Shane says he's going to fine Roman Reigns and he will deal with Roman later. Bit of a mood killer. Charlotte Flair then steps up to the mic and says, I can't believe that Kevin Owens has disrespected you. He's disrespected the whole McMahon family's kindness. Then Liv Morgan steps up and says, Charlotte, will you stop being a phony? Is there anything real about you? It's a fake tit joke, get it? Charlotte then goes, hey Liv, you can talk. Have you seen your tongue? Shut up, Charlotte, the tongue's really hot. And just as they're getting going, Shane McMahon interrupts and goes, okay, enough of you two ladies, step back. Buddy Murphy then says that he's going to slap his name out of Kevin Owens' mouth, and then Apollo Crews steps up to the mic and says that, hey, Kevin Owens, he's got a point. Everybody agrees with Kevin Owens. I didn't even know Apollo Crews could talk. I thought that he just communicated through the medium of smiling. Zelina Vega then steps forward and a match is set up for later tonight, Apollo Crews versus Andrade. Elias then starts blabbing on about something or other, and then he's interrupted by the New Day, but before they can really start getting going, Shane McMahon has Kofi Kingston's mic cut, and that is the end of the town hall meeting. Except it's not, because all of the wrestlers start walking backstage. Cesaro, that Raw superstar, the wild card, walks out. He demands another match with Aleister Black. Shane McMahon says, yep, that's good, that's going to happen next, and that's your lot. Except it's not, because then Kevin Owens appears out of nowhere behind Shane McMahon and gives him the best stunner you've ever seen. They cut it from the YouTube replay, so you can't really see it very easily anymore, but this was brilliant. So he goes for the stunner, and Shane McMahon just ducks too early, goes to his knees like that. He is a McMahon, after all, and then Owens has to hoist him back up. Bang, another stunner, and that is your lot. Owens then escapes through the crowd. It was pretty badass, and I have mixed feelings on this opening promo. I'm going to give it a C+, which might be generous, but I do think there's something to like about this. It was good to hear from all of the underutilized wrestlers, even if they didn't get a great deal of mic time, but the success of this, I guess, relies on Shane McMahon being overthrown and then those underutilized wrestlers having a chance to shine down the line. That's the story here. Shane McMahon cutting them off, cutting them off, cutting them off. When he's finally gone, fingers crossed, all of those guys and girls who we hardly ever see on TV will get a chance to actually cut promos, wrestle matches, establish characters, etc, etc, etc. Go away, Shane McMahon. This was okay. Town hall meeting, it was okay. Aleister Black versus Cesaro is up next. I'm a big fan of Cesaro, despite the fact that he was basically still on the ramp anyway. Going backstage so he could make another entrance. He does have a cool new entrance, in fairness, and the match itself was decent, if not a little bit short. There were a few uppercuts, a crossface, a couple of knees, but quickly, Aleister Black nails Black Mass, pin Cesaro, and as much as I really, really like Cesaro, I'm not going to complain too much about this. Sure, I'd like to see more between Aleister Black and Cesaro. I think they had one of the best matches of the night at Extreme Rules. However, I'm also all for Aleister Black looking super strong after his main roster singles debut. And you know what? Cesaro almost definitely wouldn't be coming out of this feud on top, so that's why I don't mind the feud ending here, because I like Cesaro so much. Fingers crossed he can move on to bigger and better things. Aleister Black can find a new opponent, somebody he can be really dominant over. Cesaro versus Black gets a B-. Up next is Liv Morgan versus Charlotte Flair. Liv Morgan charges straight at Charlotte Flair, but gets knocked straight on her ass, but then gets in some pretty impressive offense, all the while taunting Charlotte Flair, sticking that lovely tongue out. Unfortunately, that doesn't last for long. Liv ends up eating a big powerbomb, gets locked in the figure eight, taps out super quick, and that is your lot. This lasted maybe 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, but it's not quite over. Liv Morgan has something to say. She grabs a commentary headset and shouts down it, "Charlotte was right, and when I come back, I'm gonna be real." I haven't done the delivery justice. The delivery was absolutely sensational here. It felt like she meant every single word. All 12 of them. This was fine by me. It's a C+. It made sense for Charlotte Flair to pick up the win. It was her return match. Love her or hate her, she's really, really good. And Liv Morgan, although she wasn't successful, her offense looked really good, and she's created intrigue into whatever her new character may be. Sonya and Mandy are out next. They are taking on the team of Ember Moon and a mystery opponent. Who could that be? There ain't no stopping us now. It's SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. I wanted Molly Holly. Another super quick one. Bayley takes a bit of a beating. She tags in Ember Moon, who is on fire. She hits the Eclipse. That's your lot. After the match, Bayley gets interviewed. She says that she's glad that her feud with Alexa Bliss is over, but now she needs a worthy challenger for the SmackDown Women's title at SummerSlam, and Ember Moon is that woman because she happens to be standing there. That's not fair. That's not fair. Ember Moon goes, "Hell yeah!" It was cooler when Stone Cold did it, but it was... Congratulations, Ember. I like her a lot. The match is fine. It would have got a C. It was pretty much a glorified squash match, actually. But I'm going to up that to a C+, because I'm just really, really happy for Ember Moon. She's one of the best female wrestlers in the WWE, and I'm very, very happy that she's going to get a chance to shine on a grand stage like SummerSlam. That's all good stuff. But now we just need a storyline. We're about 4 weeks away from SummerSlam at this point, and we need something more than Bayley just thinking, "Hey, Ember, she's pretty good," and she happens to be standing there. So give us something more. You've got 4 weeks, WWE. I know you can do it, probably, maybe. Regardless of whether she wins or loses, this SummerSlam match could make Ember Moon. We saw it in NXT. We know that her strongest asset is absolutely her wrestling ability, and she needs a chance to show that off, and I really do think that Bayley is the perfect opponent to do that. However, as I say, the next 4 weeks are instrumental because fans actually just need to care about that match for it to feel like a big deal. The new Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura is backstage with his lovely new belt. He is approached by Ali. Yes, please, but back to the ring. It's time for a New Day promo and Daniel Bryan's big announcement. The New Day celebrate their respective Extreme Rules wins and then waste no time in calling out Daniel Bryan to make his big announcement. What could that be? The New Day seem to think he just wants another shot at the SmackDown tag titles. I will reenact that announcement now. Right? Samoa Joe then comes out and actually says some words. He says that he wants another shot at the WWE title, but then Elias comes out and says that no, Samoa Joe, you've had enough chances. It should be me that gets that title shot. And then Randall Keith comes out and says, no, I want the shot at the WWE title. I want a match where I do rest holds for 15 minutes and then get pinned by Kofi Kingston at the end, because that's what's going to happen here. But there's no WWE title match. Instead, we get a 6-man tag. It's the New Day taking on Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, and Elias. Joe starts off in the ring with Kofi, and then we get a bit of Elias and Big E, and then Xavier comes in and starts getting beaten down by the heels, because that's his job. Kofi finally gets the hot tag, comes in, looks to put away Randy Orton, goes for the Trouble in Paradise, Paradise. Randy Orton dodges. Randy Orton goes for the RKO. Kofi Kingston dodges, and then all hell breaks loose. On the outside, Xavier gets choked out by Samoa Joe. Elias gets in the ring, eats a Trouble in Paradise, but Kofi is distracted, which allows Randy Orton to hit an RKO out of nowhere and pin the WWE Champion. So the match here did drag at points, but it certainly picked up towards the end, and Randy Orton, because Kofi Kingston has been pretty protected as WWE Champion, he's hardly eaten any pins in his time as the champ, Randy Orton pinning him following an RKO actually felt like a fairly big deal, and I don't know how excited I can get about a Randy Orton-Kofi Kingston feud, but I will say that casual fans of the WWE still really like Randy Orton just because he's been booked so strong for so many years. So Kofi Kingston getting a win over Randy Orton, to a lot of people would feel like a big deal too. As for the Daniel Bryan stuff, that was obviously bollocks. Give me what I want, Daniel! Give me what I want! Backstage now, and R-Truth is in a washing machine. Obviously, it's revealed that he's going to go and I guess hide at Comic-Con, and this is very clever stuff from WWE. Let me explain why. When R-Truth gets pinned at Comic-Con, all of the world's nerdy media will be talking about it. There are so many people there, all of them have camera phones, there are journalists there, and I would bet that R-Truth or WWE or something will trend on Twitter after that happens without a TV show even happening. It'll be a bit like the time CM Punk invaded Comic-Con in 2011, except replace Triple H with R-Truth and replace CM Punk with Drake Maverick in his tighty whities. The Iconics versus the Kabuki Warriors is up next, finally! But don't get your hopes up too much. So really impressive stuff from the Kabuki Warriors. Great offense. We know that they're absolutely terrific, obviously. Asuka goes on to nail a roundhouse kick on Billie Kay. Billie Kay rolls out of the ring and takes the count-out loss, retaining in the process the women's tag titles. This, unfortunately, gets my D. I don't mind the count-out. That's a heelish thing to do, then retaining the tag titles because of a count-out. That's fine. We've seen that done countless times before. Classic heel tactics, but I think the timing was all wrong on this. We've hardly seen the Iconics defend the women's tag titles, and so this just felt like a token appearance. It was like WWE thought, hey, we said that we were going to do this, so let's stick it on TV, but make it as short as possible because we just don't care. And then new belts as well. It's baffling. After the match, the Kabuki Warriors absolutely wreck Peyton and Billie. Peyton and Billie go scampering up the ramp, which is a step in the right direction. This match needs to happen again at SummerSlam. If it doesn't, something is sorely wrong because those women's tag titles just feel like such an afterthought at this point. Andrade versus Apollo is up next in that match set up earlier in the night. Andrade jumps Apollo ahead of the bell and then completely dominates him and then gets rolled up and pinned by Apollo Crews in about 2 minutes. I'm not joking. I'll give this a D+, I guess. I'm not quite sure what to make of this. The strongest qualities of both men are their wrestling ability. Apollo is a great wrestler, but has absolutely no personality. Andrade is an especially great wrestler who does have personality. Andrade should be absolutely trouncing Apollo Crews, but this is a feud that nobody cares about at all. Andrade should be doing bigger and better things, or just beating some personality into Apollo Crews. Apollo needs to go away for a bit. Hey, he did a promo earlier in the night. Maybe I'm being unfair. I'm rambling here, aren't I? I don't like Apollo Crews that much. That's the point. Good. Move on. Main event time, and it is time for Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has been let back in the building because if there's anyone who's going to finally put away that little scamp Kevin Owens, it's the man who got beaten in 15 seconds on Sunday night. Hi, Dolph. Nobody cares about you. Owens takes control at the start, shouting, "I'm better than you! I'm better than you!" Yes, you are, Kevin. Dolph makes a brief comeback, but Owens takes control again, and then all of a sudden we start seeing bodies come down, not actual bodies, human beings start walking down the ramp. Shane McMahon's coming out, but he's flanked by lots and lots of damn dirty heels. Elias is there, Drew McIntyre's there, Shinsuke Nakamura's there, the B team are there, AOP are there. AOP are there. This is their big return. For fuck. Dolph takes advantage of the distraction, gets a near fall, but soon eats a stunner from Kevin Owens, and then Kevin Owens stunners Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon actually sells the stunner properly. Second time's a charm. Well done, Shane McMahon. And then Kevin Owens just hightails it out of there, goes up the ramp. Shane McMahon is briefly interviewed and says that Kevin Owens, you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay. What a cliffhanger ending that is. That's the end of SmackDown. That's Okay, so I guess Dolph Ziggler won by countout, or was it a no contest, or a DQ? I don't really care, and I didn't care about this match at all for Ziggler-based reasons, but the ending just felt really, really flat. It was a weird way to end the show. This one gets a C-, I guess. Honestly, Kevin Owens just needs to destroy Shane McMahon and get him off of TV as soon as possible. Say it week in, week out, but Shane harms whichever TV show he's on. It's always all about him. It's not fun to watch. It's not entertaining. Nobody can enjoy that except Shane McMahon, possibly Vince too, but it's bollocks, isn't it? Roll on SummerSlam. This episode of SmackDown gets a C. They managed to cram in an awful lot into this TV show, but not a lot of it worked for me. The problem with having such a stacked roster is that there are so many of them, so when you try and fit in as many as possible on a TV show, you end up with like 2-minute matches, which makes it very, very difficult to invest in anything that's happening. That said, not to beat a dead horse, if you took Shane McMahon off of TV, that would free up like 90 minutes on SmackDown and 120 minutes on Raw, and then everyone has a bit of fun. Oh, God. Little bit of admin before I go. This weekend sees the debut of a brand new series of Graded, where I, Adam Pacitti, am going to teach you how to make ice cream. That's right, it's Cultaholic's first ever Sunday school. Get it? Ice cream sun. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can pledge to us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.